BFreeCBD.com joins forces with Championship Wrestling to bring you the all-new Championship Wrestling podcast. And here's your host, Dustin Starr, featuring special guest,
BFree CBD,
founder of BFree CBD, Daryl Bird. Here we go!
Body aches gone, leg pain gone, back pain gone, relaxation.
Oh yeah! Welcome to episode 35 of the Championship Wrestling Podcast, presented by BFree CBD. Happy Monday wherever you are. Thank you for joining me. I am Dustin Starr, coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee, the home of Championship Wrestling. And last week, John Roberts gave us a behind-the-scenes look at what it was like at a return to live production. That's right, new matches, new stars, and all your favorites return this Saturday, September 5th on CW30 Memphis and YouTube Premiere. But today, the voice of Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle will join us to get us ready for it. But first, before we do that, this podcast is presented by BFree CBD.
This is Daryl from BFree CBD Wellness Center coming to you from 777 West Poplar Avenue, and that's in the town of Collierville. We're just right outside of Memphis, so when you come to Memphis to hang out and have a good time, you got to go to the east and come out to Collierville and see us. Today I'm talking to you about the benefits of the natural plant itself, the smokable flower of hemp. The benefit of the hemp plant is it, again, helps reduce inflammation, helps reduce pain, and also increases a person's well-being because you're dealing with the anxiety. This is known to give you anti-anxiety benefits. So those of you with SSRIs or opiates or coming off of some heavy chemicals and prescriptions, a lot of people are coming this way, the natural way. So I've gone from, hey, Daryl, is that weed juice over there? To now, hey, Daryl, man, I'm understanding that's some real medicine that's really helping people, because it is.
Be sure to follow at BFree CBD on social media. Go ahead and follow at CW30 Wrestling. And of course, I'm at Dustin Starr. And today's lineup includes a whole lot of professional wrestling. We're going to take a good look at what's coming up this week for Championship Wrestling, including live professional wrestling matches in the Mid-South, a free AEW watch party on Saturday, and so much more. Plus, we're going to recap Saturday's Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. What a show with the women's division action, Impact Wrestling star Chris Bay, AEW's Luchasaurus, and of course the 10 pounds of gold was on the line in the Dave & Buster's match of the week. All that and more here in just a few moments. Also, we have more great questions in today's mailbag. I'm always looking forward to answering your questions. We'll do that. But first, he's the voice of Championship Wrestling, and he called each and every match that you're going to see on our brand new episode this Saturday. Our guest today is none other than TODD KENELEY. And we won't get any spoilers from Todd, just like John. No spoilers, but we have some great stuff to get you hyped up about our return to live action. And not only was Todd on the call for each and every one of those matches that you're going to see during our return, but he's also going to be on the call on live pay-per-view for the United Wrestling Network's brand new series, Primetime Live, that's premiering on September 15th. And I could literally talk professional wrestling with TODD KENELEY all day long. So let's get right to it. It's another fun podcast scheduled this week. The voice of Championship Wrestling, TODD KENELEY, is up next.
The all-new Championship Wrestling podcast is presented by BFree CBD.
Some new stars, some people you've never seen before on Championship Wrestling going to make their debut, and a lot of exciting moments. Brand new episodes coming to CW30 on Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle on September 5th.
BFreeCBD.com joins forces with Championship Wrestling to help you be and feel your best.
It's always good to catch up with the voice of Championship Wrestling, and he's joining me right now. What's up, TODD KENELEY?
What's going on, 5 Star? How are you?
Oh, man. I am doing good, and I am waiting for Saturday. It's finally here after 5 long months. We have brand new matches, brand new faces. All the stars of Championship Wrestling are back for new action. And guess who was on the call for every single bit of it? You!
You're right about that. You know what? It has been a long time coming for it to want to be time to fight on, but it's time to fight on. I am so excited. The great fans in Memphis are going to love what's coming their way, and a whole lot of it coming their way.
Yes. Now, of course, I keep up with you on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else that I possibly can. But kind of take us behind the scenes. We talked to David Marquez a couple of weeks ago. We talked to John Roberts last week, and he gave us a little kind of sneak peek back there. But how was it for you returning, not only without having fans, but then just catching up with everybody? What was different back there?
Catching up with everybody was great. First and foremost, and I think John Roberts mentioned that it was like a reunion. I mean, these are people that we haven't seen in months, and our locker room really is. You've been there. You've been to Ocean View Pavilion. It really is a tight knit family-like atmosphere, and we've missed each other, and our roster has missed competing, and I've missed calling, and so it was great. First and foremost, it was just great to see everybody. As John had mentioned, there were a lot of safety precautions. I got the nose swab of doom, prior, and but it was well worth it. And it was just great being back in the mix. And with no fans, yes, that as a commentator is a challenge, but it really enabled me and Blake Troop to just get down to really analyzing the action. That sportscast feel, and Blake's great at that because of his his MMA background, and I feel I always give my call kind of that sports feel, and it was great because we never had the the atmosphere. Let's take a step back and listen to the crowd. We could really dive in to the action, tell the stories of the athletes, and remind our fans a little bit about who they are and what makes them so impressive as a competitor. And it was great. We got to do that much more without having the fans there as a crutch to listen to how crazy this is. We didn't have that.
That's a great perspective too, because a lot of the people that are listening now, the fans that watch, they probably haven't looked at it from your perspective, because a lot of your sound bites, and by the way, I know I say it every time, but I'm a huge fan of those sound bites, but a lot of your sound bites are feeding off the energy of the crowd. And without them being there, it seems like you'd have to kind of adjust and do it a little bit differently anyway.
Yes, but in essence, and I've said this many times, I'm first and foremost a wrestling fan, and I don't manufacture any of my love for professional wrestling. It's real, and so it in essence made me a fan in the building. I was a fan in Ocean View, so then I am kind of the liaison now between being a fan and a commentator and the fans watching at home, and it didn't affect me as much as I thought. I thought it was going to feel like we were just constantly talking or trying to kill dead air, but the performers are characters as well. And I think in this era of the pandemic in pro wrestling, I think in one way it forces the commentators to work harder and be better, but the performers as well. You get to see so much more of the character and hear it. They're so much more vocal in their matches when there's not that crowd. And so I think obviously we don't want it this way forever. We want our fans back in the building. We want that energy, but I think it does in a weird way bring the fans closer to the performers themselves, because it's just so much more intimate when you're watching at home and you hear all those things.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And talking about working harder, not only in the ring, but at the broadcast booth, brother, how many matches did you call over that 2-day period of brand new wrestling tapings?
I believe we called a total of 29 matches.
Wow.
So, we definitely took advantage of getting back in the Ocean View Pavilion. We got you covered out there on CW30 for the next few weeks. That's for sure.
I love it. I've got to ask you though. All right, so is it Bang Energy? Is it Monster Energy? Did you drink a pot of coffee? How do you stay up for that long?
Yeah, man. You know what? I got to tell you, I was a huge energy drink, just like junkie for a long time, man. Monster was kind of my go-to. Then I tried Bang, but I've been trying to wean myself off of that, and just to be back calling matches. I was so jacked, man, that I did not need the caffeine that day. Over the weekend.
Yeah, so September 5th, man, that is this coming Saturday. The wait is almost over. Are there any, no spoilers, but are there any names or anything that the fans should be on lookout for, just to tease us just a little bit, Todd?
It's going to be exciting. Things definitely, there's going to be some shakeups, and we had, some difference in creative. I think I can say that, Aaron the Idol Stevens is involved in creative. Obviously, he has an incredible wrestling mind, and on top of being a wonderful thespian. So he really brought a whole new energy and was able to work with the talent. But in terms of, you're going to see your favorites, champions will return. And now it's time for them. Champions got their title reigns padded a little bit, right, with this pandemic. So now it's time for them to give back. They're going to have to defend those titles. So look for champions to return, and some names that we've seen but not too often on our program. So we have like 4 Minutes of Heat, great tag team return. I'm sure the fans at Memphis love them. They're a real throwback, and just such a fun team to watch. And then guys like Will All Day, that was a longtime television champion at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling in Texas. He's been featured on our program in the past. He was back involved. And then again, our relationship, the United Wrestling Network, is really branching out. And so obviously we're going to be working with the National Wrestling Alliance for Primetime Live. But as you know, we've also had David Marquez has had a great relation for years and years with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and our staff worked heavily on the production of Lions Break Collision and New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, both of which were shot at the Ocean View Pavilion. So you might see some faces there. So for instance, Clark Connors, who's a New Japan Young Lion, is just a phenomenal looking athlete. And being a young lion, you're going to have that kind of, limited moveset, but everything he does is so fundamentally sound, so crisp. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So when you put a Clark Connors in there with somebody that maybe is a high risk guy that will take chances, they say styles makes fights, and that styles clash is really interesting to watch when you have a Clark Connors in there.
Oh man, if I wasn't excited before, I am just super excited at this point. You just dropped the NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, United Wrestling Network. Oh my gosh, I am fired up about Saturday. So that's our official return to live production. It comes up this Saturday, September 5th, of course, at high noon on CW30 here in Memphis, and of course on YouTube Premiere, which you joined a lot of the chats, and we appreciate that. But I've got to ask you, before I let you go, you dropped United Wrestling Network Primetime Live on me, and in just a couple of weeks ago, David Marquez said that you, TODD KENELEY, will be on the call for that brand new pay-per-view series that launches on Tuesday, September 15th. What do you know about that? What can you tell us about that?
Well, first and foremost, I'm super excited and it's a great honor, that the company is going to use me in that role, and it's I love the excitement and the pressure of being live.
Yes, sir.
But things have started to, as we get closer, things have started to ramp up in terms of what we are finding out. We now know that NWA World's Women's Champion Thunder Rosa will be on the program at some time. I don't know that she'll be in a match in the first week, but I know that she's going to be on there, and she's obviously created a huge buzz that she will be battling for the AEW Women's title with Hikaru Shida at All Out. And so, I mean, who knows, she might be coming in with both titles.
Right.
Pay-per-view. So, that's a huge acquisition, I think, for the series. And then also the first officially signed match was recently announced by David Marquez. So we're going to have EJ Sparks who is a great talent in the United Wrestling Network. He's a 3-time Arizona State champion, and he's going to be battling Hammerstone. And fans may know Hammerstone as the openweight champion at MLW. He's a guy that has been on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood in the past. The guy is just a freakish athlete and incredible talent, and he is the current West Coast Pro Wrestling champion. So that's another one of the promotions that partners with us. They present our broadcast of Championship Wrestling up in the Bay Area in Northern California. So Hammerstone and EJ Sparks right out of the chute, title match. So that's I think interesting too, is it kind of shows that the door is open. Yeah. Hammerstone isn't somebody that's actively been competing in the United Wrestling Network lately, but with a lot of promotions not running right now, Primetime Live can really be a showcase and an open door, and all are welcome. And it's going to be interesting to see who walks through that door.
I cannot wait. Todd, it has been a real pleasure. I've got to have you sign off the only way that we know how, right? Could you do that for us?
Just days away. Count down the days, the hours, the minutes, the seconds, the milliseconds, because coming up on Saturday, once again, it's time to fight on.
The Championship Wrestling Rewind is brought to you by BFree CBD.
Last week on Championship Wrestling, we had a star-studded lineup as we anticipate our return to live production. In women's division action, we saw Killer Bay Heather Monroe versus Sarah the Wolf. And you always have to keep your eye on Halston Body.
Oh no, Halston Body, come on!
Then, 6-man tag team action was absolutely chaotic, with the upper class squaring off against Rock Nest Monsters and Luchasaurus.
What is Ivy doing? Wait, is he... he's got a flashlight? Is he channeling his inner Alan Grant? What is this? Their vision is predicated on motion, guys. Jamie, freeze! Faster, Jamie, must go faster!
And in our main event, the Dave and Buster's match of the week, Colt Boom Boom Cabana gets his shot at the National Treasure Nick Aldis and the NWA 10 pounds of gold.
No. Cabana, no way. Off the top.
Better not waste any time here with the champion, Cabana.
Superplex by Cabana.
All that and so much more on the fastest hour in pro wrestling. Watch episode 74 in full on our official YouTube channel at CW30 Wrestling.
The Championship Wrestling Lookout is brought to you by BFree CBD.
I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious, because there's a lot to look out for this week. This Thursday, September 3rd, it's live professional wrestling at the Lauderdale County Fair in Halls, Tennessee, and it's absolutely free. Check this out.
Lauderdale County Fair presents free pro wrestling Thursday, September 3rd at 7:30 p.m. featuring Dustin Starr, The Posse with Coach Cook, Derek King, Lucha Libre sensation Blazing Star, and more. Fair admission, parking, and pro wrestling are all free. Social distancing and safety guidelines will apply. Join us at the Lauderdale County Fair. It's free!
We are going to have a ton of fun on Thursday night at the Lauderdale County Fair in Halls, Tennessee. But we're going to have even more fun at a superstar tribute with Bill Dundee at Growlers in Memphis on Sunday, September 20th. Now, there are just very few tickets remaining. They're on sale now, and we might just have another legendary guest in the house with us on September 20th.
Join us for a special tribute to the career and legacy of superstar Bill Dundee, Sunday, September 20th at Growlers. VIP tickets include custom superstar, face mask, and t-shirt. Along with a special Q&A, you'll be treated to a special screening of Bill's new movie, Screecher. That's Sunday, September 20th at Growlers in Memphis. Limited tickets on sale now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com.
And this Saturday night, Dave and Buster's goes elite. That's right, we've had 3 watch parties in a row at Dave and Buster's, 2 down, 1 to go. SummerSlam was a ton of fun, and then of course last night at WWE Payback, big shout out and thank you to everybody who came out. This Saturday, Dave and Buster's, that's September 5th, AEW All Out is absolutely free.
Dave & Buster's is the coolest place to eat, drink, play, and watch AEW All Out. Join us Saturday, September 5th. It's free, plus you can win prizes. Dave & Buster's Wolf Chase.
And of course, each and every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, you can catch me on Sports 56 Mornings talking professional wrestling. You can listen live anywhere in the world, or you can listen after the fact on podcast. Just go to sports56whbq.com. And then, of course, Thursday at noon, an all-new Grind City Wrestling. You can listen at grindcitymedia.com/podcast. Join us each and every Thursday, and we're only 2 weeks away from our milestone 100th episode. And boy, do we have something real special for you that day. And then, speaking of something very special, Saturday at noon, we are back with all new episodes and new action just for you on Championship Wrestling, presented by Pro Shingle.
Saturday at noon, it's a brand new Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle.
After 5 long months, we have new matches, new stars, and of course, the return of all your favorites.
That's Saturday at noon, right here on CW30 Memphis.
It's time for this week's Mailbag. Mailbag.
It's that time on the show where I answer your questions. And of course, these are questions from 5 Star Friday on my Instagram story at Dustin Starr. We do it each and every Friday. You can send those questions to me anytime you'd like. We got a couple here. These are pretty good. Up first, will we see more Twitch streams of Fortnite? Hashtag one more match. I've been having a lot of fun on Twitch here lately. So you guys can check me out at twitch.tv/Dustin Starr. And the hashtag one more match is kind of like when I'm playing and I die real fast. I'm like, okay, one more match. And then 3 matches in. All right, one more match. But I've got the new season of Fortnite. I actually have my first solo win, my first squad win, and my first duo win all this week on Fortnite. So you can check me out. There are definitely going to be more streams. And that's, again, at twitch.tv/Dustin Starr. Now, my Twitch is nothing like a Zicky Dice or a Gentleman Jervis. It's not like a TV show. It's basically me chatting with you guys while I'm getting shot up on Fortnite. That's pretty much how it goes. And we can talk wrestling or whatever you want. Totally up to you. Next question, my thoughts on Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Man, I've always respected Smoky Mountain Wrestling. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, of course, is Jim Cornette. You know, of course, Chris Jericho, Lance Storm, so many great wrestlers, Rock and Roll Express. They all wrestled at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but very cool stuff. Don't have too many thoughts on it, but I first think of Jim Cornette when I think of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I've been watching a lot of old school USWA here lately. Gosh, man. Tommy Rich back in the day, just awesome promos. Superstar Bill Dundee, of course, the King. I've just been catching up on a lot of old school USWA, and I love it. Next question, how much longer until Baby Star? Oh man, so we're 12 weeks away. And my Maria feels great. And man, that baby boy in there is growing, and he seems pretty strong with these kicks, man. She can actually record her belly now, and you can see the rumbling. It's not like a little nudge here or there. He's like really super kicking in there. But November 23rd is the date, so right around Thanksgiving. I wouldn't mind having a Halloween baby. That might be pretty cool. But not too much longer, only 12 weeks away. Next question. Are you and Mrs. Starr nervous about having your baby in the middle of a pandemic? Woo, boy. Nervous? This is just fine. Like the meme. A little dog drinking coffee with fire all around him? Yeah, this is just fine. And I've told this story before, but we had this in the plans for, since October of 2019. And then just so happened that everything went down as soon as the pandemic hit. So when I found out was, March 13th, Friday the 13th. That was the day after the NBA shut down and everything else shut down. And it was kind of like, got to tell you something, by the way. I've told that story before. I won't tell it again, but it was definitely a shock, and it will be a little bit challenging, but I think we've all gotten used to doing the bare minimum as far as leaving the house and all that kind of stuff. So everything will be fine, but of course, we're always nervous, especially, having a baby, much less having a baby in a pandemic. So thank you guys for the questions about the baby. And thank you guys for the gifts. I mean, we've had gifts from all over the place. And if you wonder how to send yours, then just go check out My Maria Starr on Facebook. She posted the registry up. And I'm looking at the crib right now. I put that bad boy together. Didn't quite go together as fast as a wrestling ring, but anyways. Last question of the day. You think WWE will follow AEW's lead and start letting fans in the building at limited capacity? To be perfectly honest with you, I'm surprised WWE isn't already doing that, especially with so many pay-per-views here, and I would not be surprised at all if you see WWE have fans in the audience a lot sooner than later. And actually, man, if you look back, they've had their talent out there as fans, just like AEW has, but they haven't actually started selling tickets yet. I think that's the difference, and I think it's very, very soon, and WWE will start doing that for sure. But that's all we have this week for the mailbag. Be sure to send me your questions, whether it's on YouTube at CW30 Wrestling or on Twitter at Dustin Starr, or every 5-Star Friday on my Instagram story at Dustin Starr. Thank you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFreeCBD.com.
BFree CBD, pain on, pain gone. BFree CBD, pain
Thank you once again for joining me today on the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFree CBD, and a big thank you goes out to TODD KENELEY, the voice of Championship Wrestling, for joining me today, and I can't wait to hear him on the call with brand new matches, new stars, and the return of all our favorites. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday, September 5th, we are officially back. And remember, BFree CBD is open in Collierville, Tennessee, 777 West Poplar Avenue. For those of you in the Mid-South, stop by, say hello, tell them Dustin Starr sent you. And if you already take CBD, or if you've been thinking about trying it, no matter where you are in the world, certainly try BFree CBD. That's the letter B, freecbd.com. They ship all over the world. And remember, we're back to our noon scheduled time on Saturday. Let me say that again. I don't know why I said it that way. Saturday, we're back to our regular schedule at noon on Saturday. And then I'll see you Saturday night at Dave and Buster's for our AEW All-Out Watch Party, absolutely free. And until then, I am Dustin Starr, saying so long, everybody. Oh, yeah.